So I've created this assignment called the Sociological Autobiography in order for students of sociology to learn how to apply the sociological imagination into their own personal lives, their family background, and the places where they come from, and how that's really gone into creating who we are as people and what we believe. So this sociological autobiography assignment is related to C. Wright Mill's book, The Sociological Imagination, which he first published in 1959. So in the opening paragraph of his book, The Sociological Imagination, C. Wright Mills sets out this idea of where the sociological imagination stems from. He states, "Nowadays, men often feel that their private lives are a series of traps. They sense that within their everyday world they cannot overcome their troubles, and in this feeling they are often quite correct. What ordinary men are directly aware of and what they are trying to do are bound by the private orbits in which they live. Their visions and their powers are limited to the close-up scenes of job, family, and neighborhoods." Later on in the chapter, he goes on to state, "Yet men do not usually define the troubles they endure in terms of historic change and institutional contradictions. The well-being they enjoy, they do not usually input to the big ups and downs of the society in which they live, seldom aware of the intricate connections between the patterns of their own lives and the course of world history." He goes on to state the first fruit of this imagination and the first lesson of the sociological science that embodies it is the idea that the individual can understand his own experience and gauge his own fate only by locating himself within his period. The sociological imagination enables us to grasp history and biography and the relationship between the two within society. This assignment asks you to take a sociological approach to understanding your own social location in the larger context of the American society. Open your autobiography with some kind of quote from C. Wright Mills or some kind of sociological story that really just pulls us in directly into the story of your family that you're going to be explaining in the following 1,000 words. In your opening paragraph, when you introduce yourself, do post a headshot photo so that we can see what you look like, and then mention, your name, what year you are in school, your majors and minors, any extracurricular activities that you're taking place, and also just your general interests and your future pursuits and what kind of career that you plan on going into after you graduate from college. In the next section, you can entitle it Family Background, and this is where you should really start to use C. Wright Mill's concept of the sociological imagination, as well as any sources that are assigned later on in the class, to really understand the context of your family life. So for example, start with your grandparents. Is there any story of migration? Did your grandparents migrate to the United States from a particular country? If so, in what year? How many people left that country for the United States in that year? And was there some larger social issue happening in society that motivated this migration? When you think about your grandparents and just how social capital is passed down through generations, social capital is just not only the wealth that your family might have, but all these important aspects of our lives and how we act and present ourselves in society. So it could be our wealth, but it could also be our educational attainment. It could be the manner in which we speak, the accent that we might have. It can be the way that we dress, the clothing that we have, the ways that we present ourselves. So you can imagine that someone might inherit money, but perhaps they don't fit into this kind of normative cultural class inherent in certain social institutions. So we really want to talk about that and discuss ways in which our grandparents and our parents' generation influences the way we relate to material resources, the demographics of our background, and how that influences us and categorizes us in society today, and all these other factors that are really beyond our control but impact us in our daily life. One of the aspects of this assignment is to just be able to place yourself statistically within the larger demographic trends of the United States. So I really want you to look up the census.gov website and cite some relevant statistics related to yourself and your personal family story, as well as your hometown. So for example, what is your race ethnicity? Cite the percentage of that ethnicity within the larger United States context. And then cite smaller, more regional statistics, such as your state or even your hometown. In the next section, you want to subtitle it Hometown, and you want to apply these sociological and demographic trends to the town that you were born and raised in. So for example, where is the town located? Is it in a developed country? Is it in a developing nation? Is it a small town? Is it a large urban area? What's the racial makeup of your town? What are the other demographic trends in your town, such as the age or the marital status of the population as a whole? And you can find these statistics. So the next section in your sociological autobiography is called Power, Privilege, and Inequality. And so in this section, I really want you to demonstrate your understanding that social institutions exercise power and the ways in which interpersonal relationships and activities between one individual and another reinforce the larger social structures of institutions in society. So for example, social institutions are such things as the economy, religion, the family, the educational system, the medical establishment, the military, and so on. And then within these larger umbrella social institutions, we can focus on smaller aspects, such as popular culture or different aspects of the economic system, the housing market. So within social institutions all exert power through their exercise. And so, for example, let's focus on each institution and understand how it exercises power. How does the educational system influence and exert its power in society? Through who it chooses to allow in to the front door, who are bestowed with the degrees, and the power of this social institution within the community as also. So we're all invested in these structures of social power and the exercise of which either we might be on the receiving end of power in the form of oppression, perhaps we're suffering from gender or racial or sexual orientation oppression in the job market, so therefore we might lose our job because of we have an identity that's viewed unfavorably in our society and discriminated against. We're also involved in power structures of institutional violence, for example, by the products we buy. Just think about your clothing, your laptops, your iPhones. Where are these products made? Under what condition are they made? Who are the laborers involved in making this product? How do they get to the United States? How are they shipped here? Who are the retail workers that distribute this product? And then we use and consume these products, we throw them away, and some of these products in our general waste might even be shipped to a third world country or a developing nation where other workers are now tasked with the process of dismantling these products and dealing with this refuge that the developed countries have really imposed on the entire world. So therefore, those are some examples of how power is exercised through social problems, through social institutions, and then how these relationships are reinforced on an interpersonal level. And so we might not consider that we're part of this global oppression in the textile industries, but simply by buying these products that are made under adverse conditions for the workers, we are in fact contributing to violence in this world. So we have a responsibility in a social location within these relationships globally. And so we really want to talk about that and locate ourselves within these positions. In the last section of this sociological autobiography, I want you to get specific with the course content of whichever course that you're taking. So I teach several sociology courses in which I assign this assignment. And whichever course you're in, just take the content, look down the syllabus in the future, and really focus in on the key text that we're going to use, the authors, the key concepts, and relate that to your sociological autobiography. Finally, in the conclusion section of this autobiography, just summarize what you've learned about analyzing your life from the sociological perspective. And of course, include a reference list and properly cite your sources at the very bottom. Thank you. I look forward to learning all about you guys. And of course, then do be sure to comment and read your fellow students' autobiographies and point out what's sociologically interesting about their biographies, and try to keep your comments really academic. So continue to cite the book, continue to cite the key sociological terms that we've used in the course, and then relate it to their stories and how you relate to their story as well. Thank you so much.